All right, guys, I told you I would put the Pond Water Lab experiment up all at once on Monday with all of the data for you all in one place. So I went ahead and did that. I put it up as a nice PowerPoint that you can scroll through and download to your computer if you want to. It's on Google Slides. So the first page explains what we did in the experiment. And then it has the readings from tank 1. So tank 1 had plants in it, and I have a picture of what the control looked like on day 4 and a picture of what the plant tank looked like on day 4. That way you can look at them and compare water quality, look at kind of how it changed and what changed about the tank. So what did the plant do to the water that didn't happen in the control? On the next page, I have your daily pH levels. So I have your pH at start was 8, day 1 and day 2 were 7, day 3 was back to 8, and day 4 was 7. And then I have all of your data for ammonia, dissolved oxygen, and nitrates for start, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. All you're gonna have to do is record that data on your data sheet. Don't use mine as an example, it's really messy. And then graph it. I have the same thing up for all of the variables. So I have it up for tank number 2, which was plants with no light. It's not showing up well on the video, but the water is extremely clear in that tank. It's kind of amazing that the water changed so much in that tank. And all of your data. Tank 3 with the fish. A little bit about the fish. I was not able to get goldfish because of Corona. They're not delivering live fish to PetSmart or Petco or anywhere else in Mississippi. And goldfish can tolerate being put in pond water, but the fish that I use, the Danios, cannot. So we had to let them remain in their own water. Even though they stayed in their own water though, we got information from day 1 through day 4, and you can definitely see how the readings in their tank changed and how their water quality changed. And I did not get a starting pick for that, but their tank was completely clear when we started. It didn't have any of this debris on the bottom. You can see if you watch the trend in data how high their ammonia levels got, how low their dissolved oxygen levels got. Tank 4 was the tank I added the nutrients to. The nutrients were a blend of nitrates and phosphates. There is the data for that. What's kind of interesting about that data is whenever the ammonia reading was low, the nitrate reading was higher. But whenever the nitrate reading is low, the ammonia level is high. So maybe those two things are related somehow. And then tank 5 was your control tank. I didn't do anything to that tank, I just let it sit. And there are your readings for your control tank. You would expect your control to have steady readings all the way across, but this control doesn't. This is most likely due to the fact that the control came from a pond. So it already had bacteria in it, it already had algae in it, it already had plant life in it, and we didn't filter all those things out. So the natural occurring bacteria and plant life and everything else in that pond water is affecting what we're getting on our control. But it's a great set of data to compare everything else to kind of see how it changes and differs. So that should be all the information you need to fill out your data sheets. When you're done with your data sheets, the last thing you have to do is go to this conclusion page and tell me what happened. So in the plants with the light, what happened to the measurements? What did you observe in that tank compared to what happened in the other tanks? What do you think the plants did for that pond water sample? That's what I'm looking for in the answer. What did the fish do to that pond water sample? How did they affect the water quality of that sample? So that's, again, I'm looking for those summaries in the very end. In the control, I told you the answer just a few minutes ago. Tell me in that control why the readings didn't stay the same for a week, why they changed even though we didn't do anything at all to that control area. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'm gonna go ahead and give you till Tuesday after the test to turn this in, so you're gonna have a whole extra day.